the show.
From the legendary Warner Fez Studios in a predominantly white neighborhood, Warner Fez presents Showtime with the Paulo.
Polo, your life's a movie.
Polo, your life's a movie. How are you?
First of all, Polo, congratulations on the new book.
Thank you.
Looks like it's going to be very, very exciting when this comes out. Tell everybody the name of your new book.
Well, I'm writing a trilogy. It's the story of a good girl, and then there's 3 different books that I'm writing. I'm writing them simultaneously.
Well, you sent me the second chapter, which would have been the shortest chapter in the history of books.
That's not true. A lot of people write short chapters, and I feel that's a good way to...
Shouldn't it at least be a page?
It is somewhere. I think it is over a page. I think all my chapters are over a page.
But maybe instead of trilogy, this is just one book.
No, it's a long...
Of short chapters.
I think I can manage 200 pages of each book. But they'll be short chapters, and so maybe the second page will just have a few words on it, and then it's kind of a way to pad the book, I guess, to a certain extent.
It's just
pad it up.
When you get a 200-page book that has 220 chapters to it.
Why don't you do a lot of pictures? All right, 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Polo, the big movie coming out today is Transformers, but what else is out this weekend?
My Sister's Keeper.
Never even heard of this.
Yeah, this is a Cameron Diaz. It's a Jodi Picoult book, and
you know what? Cameron Diaz is great. I used to do a show with Cameron Diaz in Florida, and it was seriously just rocking every morning.
No, that was Ron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. That's his whole name. You know nothing of the Cuban culture. This sounds awful. My sister's boyfriend?
Well, no, it's a movie. It's a theme. It's a movie with a subject, and the parents
movie
have
with a subject.
kid
Odd.
who needs transplants and all, and so they have another kid just so they can provide the transplant.
Have you seen the trailer, Fez?
No.
I saw the trailer when I'm sitting there waiting for a comedy, and it's bald cancer kids sleeping with their parents.
Oh, God.
It's a rough... I'm telling you right...
For the summer of 2009?
I'm telling you right now, it was a rough trailer to see. I mean, it's the type of thing that you hope to escape in real life. Mm-hmm. And I mean little kids like 9, 10, completely bald head, holding on to Cameron Diaz. She's like sleeping next to him, like they're both so fearful. And I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be funny.
It's not a funny movie, but I mean, the fact is that counter-programming is a good idea. I mean,
but is there a market out there for people who want to see kids with cancer? I mean, we know it's sad.
Yeah, well, people want, parents, they want to know that they want to, they worry about things.
Yes, that's why you don't want to watch it. It's like a jinx. All right, yeah. Dave, you got two kids, right? Would you want to see any movie where something bad happens to a kid?
No. I mean...
Once I had kids, if I'm watching a movie and something bad happens to a kid, I jump up. It feels like a jinx to even fucking watch it.
I won't watch it.
And I also say this. I don't like any movie where a dog gets killed. I can't fucking stand it.
I had dogs too.
I just, first of all, does it make me feel sad? Yes, that's easy to do. You made me feel bad. A kid and a dog are dead. I can't fucking give you credit for that.
Paula, would they show this if this was a dying girl, like with the movie Up, would they rush it over and show it to her? Would they show it in the children's hospital?
No, but I think you would show it to a balloon.
Interesting.
On Earth 2. On Earth 2, you take this movie to a balloon before it deflates.
So it would be a healthy balloon.
Yeah, it's getting bigger.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how the Earth 2
and there they leave the DVD copy.
Understandable. But, I mean, it's supposed to make you think, too. The issue itself is something that we haven't resolved in our own minds.
Are you saying, what's the name of this?
My Sister's Keeper.
I'm going to say this. Cameron Diaz, this year there's no cure for Oscar.
Yes, and Jason Patrick, who has the weirdest film career of anyone, he decided
This year, 3 Oscars. It's a hat trick for Patrick. Get.
And Alec Baldwin shows up as well for some, odd reason.
Could Baldwin an Oscar? Get. Who's the other one that's in it?
Abigail Breslin.
But give me all the titles. Are you Cameron Diaz? Then who?
Jason Patrick. And
this year, he's Jason and Oscar all the way to a cancer ward. Get.
And as a matter of fact, even Zooey Deschanel's sister shows up, Emily Deschanel.
What?
She's in the
Take the sick kids to the Zooey for an Oscar.
And it's directed by Nick Cassavetes. But again, I think the whole point is that this is a film that has an issue that we have to ethically decide, is that a good thing to do, to have a kid just to make sure your other kid lives longer?
Yeah, it is. To get the kid so they have a kid to give fucking some kind of cells to the sick kid?
Yeah, and and that's the crux of the movie.
Well, first of all, in the case of Dave, he has a kid because he's drinking. So let's not act like there's a big ethical thing to whether we have kids or not.
This film sells at Oscar.
Dan in Arizona, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I swear to God, here in Phoenix, I went to see Up about a week ago, and they had a trailer for this Cancer Kid movie at Up.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it before a comedy, a baby comedy. I forget the guy from The Office was in it, and it was like a nice little happy.
Maya Rudolph.
Yeah.
Yeah, away we go.
Yeah, and I was like fucking I was bummed out the first 15 minutes into Maya Rudolph's movie.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, now you're worried about Maya Rudolph's baby in the other movie.
It's exactly what was on my mind.
But admittedly, this is not a great summer overall for movies so far. I mean, it's been kind of rough.
It's a movie full of cancer so far. It's summer.
But I mean, I'm just saying, Abigail Breslin plays the child who is supposed to give up her bone marrow and all these things, and she says, "No, hell no." Eventually, she hires a lawyer and says, "No, I'm not."
Well, don't ruin the movie for something I'm never going to see.
Well,
here's the Daily Leader. Leader, go ahead.
This year, Cameron Diaz says, "Give me 2 more Oscars."
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Oh, 2 more.
2 more.
Oh, 2 more.
2 more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I like it. All right, what else is out there, Polo?
All right, so then there's, Transformers. And, I mean, obviously this
Oscars in disguise.
You used that 2 years ago. You're going to come back with that already? Not even give it a rest?
Classic.
Is it? Go ahead, Polo. What were you saying?
Okay. Well, I mean, we can all agree.
Well, Polo,
that
let's say this. Michael Bay has been furious that they haven't been promoting this fucking piece of shit movie, and I think he's right. I don't see the big push.
I think everybody kind of assumes that this is the thing to go see. I mean, that they've spent $200 million on it, and I can understand that they haven't spent another.
How much did they spend?
$200 million.
$200 million on this piece of fucking garbage.
Robots aren't cheap.
It's actually $300 million they fucking dropped on this
And
thing.
now we're hearing $300 million.
Yeah,
I just went up $100 million. Do you know how many cancer kids I could save with that money? If they would just let me open my lab back up?
Not Abigail Breslin.
I think I can save cancer kids if cancer can be saved by meth. Because I had a fucking meth lab. So what were you saying, Paul? Best movie ever?
Okay. No, I'm saying we all agree that
this year we'll be transforming a car into an Oscar.
Well, I mean, the first movie was crazy because it was a stupid concept and a stupid director, and then somehow it worked because, you just suspended your belief and disbelief or whatever. You went with it. And so now they're giving you more, way more of the same, and it's 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours, this movie.
This movie should be 40 minutes tops.
This is like being beaten with a bag of oranges for 2.5 hours.
It's fucking pretty hot, Polo. I didn't know that was your fucking scene.
I'm just okay.
That's how you got rid of Gail O.
No.
You gave her the orange treatment.
I'm writing a book about them. And anyway, Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox.
What's his name?
Sheila.
Sheila.
No, not Sheila. I don't know how to say his name. Shia LaBeouf. LaBeouf.
His name is Sia at the Oscars. Dick, 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 dick.
And you have a lot of voice characters, of course, as well.
Don't be shy. Go up there and get your Oscar. LaBeouf. Get.
Yeah, I think you should just left it at Oscar. I think LaBeouf is where he went into trouble. Tom, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
This year, the leader of the Transformers is Oscar Miss Prime. Get.
And then you have a whole cast. The other big cast member is coming back from the first movie, John Turturro, in maybe his silliest performance of.
Maybe John will win an Oscar Turturro. I can't even fucking do it. I can't even find a spot here.
John Turturro.
The Oscar will come out. Turturro. Get.
That's good. I'll see you in the John, because you're going to be shitting Oscars. Turturro. Get.
Turturro, obviously very silly in the first movie, now much sillier. And this is a guy who's been in a lot of...
Turturro, there's someone at the Turturro. It's an Oscar. Kick.
And then you have more robots that you can shake a stick at. I mean, there's a lot of robots. But before we even
They don't let sticks in my theater.
They have a
White
Raymond...
people are so scared of black people.
The faggot of the opera.
Tacky.
Speaking about The Office, Rainn Wilson shows up as a professor, a very arrogant and conceited professor in this movie. So he's
This year, it's raining Oscars. Get.
Will Wilson reign at the Oscars? Get.
Will I win an Oscar? You will, son. Get. That's kind of stupid, huh?
Josh Duhamel, I don't know how to say his name either, and Tyrese Gibson. Josh Duhamel, the one who's married to Fergie.
I'd do him out if I could get an Oscar.
The faggot of the opera.
I hate hearing that slur.
Me too.
Me too. Don't get wrong.
Anyway, 2.5 hours, and this is
2.5 hours, 1.5 stars.
Chaotic action throughout the entire movie. Just obviously it's good to see this in the theater because there's a lot of vibration, and your seat vibrates, and you want to.
Is it supposed to?
Yes, it is supposed to, because that's what this movie is good at doing, is having good sound production, good cinematography.
Well, what was it that Roger Ebert said? I know he was furious about this.
With this movie?
Yeah, he was absolutely furious. What did he have to say?
Ebert said, if you want to save yourself a ticket price, go into the kitchen, cue up a male choir singing the music of hell, and get a kid to start banging pots and pans together. Then close your eyes and use your imagination.
And part of the problem is that you really don't know what's going on half the time, because the design of the film is these robots are changing all the time, and you don't even know what they are half the time. And then there's a blur when they're moving and running around. So the whole thing is just a blur of hyperkinetic activity.
It's an Oscar blur. Gig.
And then there's a lot of robots, too, and I can't even
Will
keep
this
track
be a
of all.
big hit again, or is this going to flop? Fezzi.
Big hit.
Hicks.
Huge depressing hit.
Dave.
Floppajaya.
Floppajaya. What are you predicting, Polo?
I'd say it's got to be a hit. I don't know if it'll... Yeah, I think it'll be a big hit. Yeah,
I'm going to predict a little more than half of what the last one made.
No,
I think people are going to be bummed out with it. I think they're not looking forward to it this summer. I'm just not hearing the buzz.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler, though, that really freaked me out, and that is there's a character has a death scene, and he's like an out-of-body experience, and he goes to heaven, and guess who the fuck is in heaven? Robots.
Gillo?
Robots are in heaven running things. They're like gods. I mean, what the hell was
Would
that?
you know my name with the robots in heaven?
Your name is Shia.
So, yeah,
Shia LaBeouf dies?
I'm not saying.
Or just his hand?
I'm just saying that there was an out-of-body experience, and the whole movie makes no sense at all. But
They write the hand injury into the script too towards the end of the movie.
His hand's that bad still?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he has no bone in one of his fingers.
Right. So they
Then why keep it? Does he put a stick in there or something?
I think they took bone out of it. They're taking bone out of his hip to rebuild that one and another one.
Oh, and then how's he going to fucking stand up straight with his hip bone gone?
And then he said he also almost lost an eye during this movie.
I remember reading that.
Some explosion went off, and he said he mistimed it.
Yeah. Well, they do that. I mean, these fucking movies, there's shit flying around all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of action that you could tell he's doing in the film, but did we really need him in the film at all? With that car accident, he was really...
Hold on, we've got a clip of the movie.
Nice big faggot of the opera hat for Al to wear. The faggot of the opera.
Every time Fez hears that, it gets easier to hear.
No. It gets a little bit worse, I think.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. It's very embarrassing.
Really?
Yeah.
You're embarrassed about what you said?
Yeah, that I would say that I would use that word.
Many, many times. Blaine, you're on Run Fez.
How's it going, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Hey, there was about 5 minutes at the end of the movie with Megan Fox in a tank top, like slow motion running, and that was probably worth the price of admission right there.
Yeah, that's worth that.
Was your tits just banging in every which direction?
Oh yeah, and she fell down a few times, and it was. You could see definitely how those things would move.
All right.
Actually, she was talking about Michael Bay, filming a scene, and he wasn't telling her that a camera was running like practically.
But here's
up her
the deal,
ass.
Polo. You're really giving away a lot of. You're giving away a lot of plot points today. Hi, Crazed. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Why don't this asshole stop fucking ruining the movie?
Shit, son.
I'm a fucking diehard Transformer fan, and I'm looking forward to see this shit, and he's fucking spoiling it, trying not to listen to it.
Trust me, don't. There's no plot to this fucking movie, and it's a.
Ouch! Fuck you! I don't care. I want to see it, so stop spoiling it.
Praise, Hasbro is listed as one of the producers of this. This is about a toy, for crap's sake. Who the fuck cares?
It's a movie that Transformers fans have been dying to see, and you're fucking ruining it.
It's true. You are ruining it.
You're fucking ruining it.
I don't honestly think there's any Transformer fans for so. I mean,
no fans.
I mean, that's when, that was years ago when these dolls came out. And a lot of the kids
dolls.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Just sit down and shut up.
Oh, they're dolls. I'm telling you, crazy.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Bye.
He's out at 5,000. You just pissed Craze off.
I'm sorry.
Here's Austin. You're on the Run and Fez show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Hey, buddies. I was wondering if this year Megan Fox's toe thumbs would be gripping Oscars.
And I wasn't revealing a plot point. I'm just saying Michael Bay was filming her ass without telling her. And then she saw the scenes later. That's all.
Oh, stop it, Megan Fox. What else do you fucking have?
Exactly. She had real shorts, and she thought he was filming her face, and he had another camera up her ass. So she was a good sport about it.
Judd in Virginia, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey guys, love you. And I just want to say that I've been a diehard Transformers fan since I was 6, and I don't want to see this movie. No one who's ever a fan of Transformers wants to see this movie. It's rubbish, and they all hate it.
Well, look, I mean, admittedly, this is a tarted up version of Transformers. They just throw the kitchen sink is in this movie. Everything is thrown in this movie. It's just it's too much almost, and I think that's the problem for me. But I'm not a Transformers fan.
I don't know whether you saw this when it comes to the big popcorn movies. Christian Bale said he doesn't know if he says he doesn't think he would return as Batman, and because of stuff that's going on behind the scenes, doesn't foresee another Batman film being made.
Yeah, I know they're also having trouble getting Chris Nolan back on board to direct. So this is where the Schumacher shows up and we start getting nipples on the bat suits again.
I mean, honestly, there was a few. I call Star Trek the movie of the summer early on, and to a certain extent it is, but we still have Harry Potter coming up. So, I mean, that's in a few weeks, and that's a big movie, and there's no question that there's going to be a lot of excitement around that.
What are you afraid of, Fezzi? You said with Schumacher, what will you do?
Oh, put nipples on the bat suits.
Too faggy?
It's just not what the bat suit is.
But that's what everybody's complaint was, if you remember. The gang that you're in with. You got to be careful of that, because you're known as a...
The faggot of the opera!
You got a reputation as a gay basher.
Well, I don't want that reputation.
Well, you've earned it.
Like to give it back.
Too late.
And there's no way they're not going to make another Batman movie with everybody. They're just going to have to pay through the ass, that's all.
Yeah, but does this guy want to throw his whole career around and just make Batman movies forever? You know?
He's got two more Terminator movies to do.
Exactly.
I mean Chris Nolan, not Chris Bale. And I don't think there's going to be any more Terminators, right? That thing wasn't a hit.
Well, I'm looking at the box office. It's made $320 million worldwide right now.
Worldwide. What?
That's not bad.
What's domestic, though, Polo?
Why do you hate worldwide?
Because
it feels to me like it's padding the numbers.
But, you
I'm
know,
not padding the numbers.
If you had money coming in, would you care where it was coming from? Like, if you make an Adam Sandler movie, you're guaranteed over $100 million. But then you don't make fucking Donut overseas. You know what I mean? Like, they're not interested in fucking Germany.
Right.
So you're really only going to pay
Blart.
attention to money.
Paul Blart made almost $150 million over here and $35 overseas.
Look at those Philadelphia Phillies.
So there you go.
Crushing the
Angels
race.
and Demons is the movie of the year so far with, about $500 million. And most of that is overseas.
You're not buying this, Fez? Let me ask you guys this. Because we've become a blockbuster summer. And even Steven Spielberg says it's too much. Steven Spielberg said a blockbuster used to be great when it came every couple of years. But now everybody's attempting a blockbuster a week, and it kind of has watered it all down. Eastside Dave, you're a guy who loves the blockbusters. When is a blockbuster, look at me, Dave, and act like you want to be part of this broadcast. When is a blockbuster a good movie, and why is it so rare? You've got $300 million to spend on this. You think you should be able to come off with a good movie. But even a lot of these movies that people act like they like, by the next summer they hate it. Independence Day, Armageddon, all those movies made big money. Then you'll even take some movies that made a lot of money, but people even hated it while they were seeing it. The Godzillas, the Planet of the Apes. Paula, why is it so hard to make a blockbuster a good movie?
Well, I mean, part of the problem is, the Transformers movies is obviously as dumbed down a movie as you can possibly imagine. You cannot make a movie any dumber than this.
I don't know. I look at those Johnny Depp fucking pirate movies, and I have no idea what those assholes are doing.
I understand, but trust me, this is way dumber. I'm just saying, it would be nice if a lot of these movies, shot for intelligence.
So you're blaming it on the fact that the audience is dumb?
No, I'm blaming on the studios think the audience is dumb.
All right, but let's go back. The first kind of big summer blockbuster was Jaws. And that was over 30 years or 20-some years
75.
ago?
So
30 years ago.
34 years ago.
Yeah.
And the movie still fucking holds up.
It's great.
It's still a great movie. Why can't you make that kind of a blockbuster movie? The Indiana Jones movie, the first one. Still a great movie. Star Wars. You'd still say, there's a fucking great movie. I'll keep going on. I'll say the first Matrix. Fantastic. Why is it so... The first Lethal Weapon is really a fucking good movie. The first Beverly Hills Cop. That's a good movie. First Ghostbusters.
Back to the Future.
Good movie. First, yeah. But why is it so fucking hard to do that?
Well, I mean, as I said, the problem is that you have to have somebody smart in there who's really trying to make the movie good in every way. And I don't think that's happening in most cases.
You think they're being made cynically?
Cynically, absolutely.
I think that the great thing about what Spielberg did was he would shape the movie around great characters. It was characters, and then let's have our dazzling special effects go around them. And when they're in these precarious situations, that's when the effects are going to come out. Now it's special effects. We have an idea for some awesome, CGI shit, and let's work our characters into this CGI scenario that we've set up. They're working backwards. They know how to do robots. Now let's bring in actors to work around them.
Well, maybe the mistake is the CGI, because they said the reason why Jaws was such a good movie is because they couldn't get the shark to work.
Yeah, and it was mysterious.
Spielberg said this: "It was up to me. You would have seen the Jaws in the first scene. I
Right.
would have shown a shark pulling the fucking girl underwater. I couldn't get the shark to work, so I had to fake it. But maybe that's the fucking thing. We don't know how to do that dramatic fucking effect anymore.
There's no suspense like that because, like, if you look at the original Planet of the Apes, time it out on when you first see one of the apes that's running the planet in the movie compared to the Marky Mark one.
Yes, but that's a fucking good example. Have you ever gone back and tried to watch the first Planet of the Apes? It's unfucking watchable. I mean, that's something I put down as kind of something that doesn't hold up. It's fucking rough to watch that one.
Right, but I mean, even those Errol Flynn movies were still, were a great movie. I mean, they're totally different, but you have to have strong characters first. And and it's totally reliant on technology. Spielberg got it right even with Jurassic Park when he didn't show us the T-Rex until a good 45 minutes into the movie. So he was still.
That would all make sense if the second Jurassic Park didn't fucking suck ass.
He lost his formula. But the first Jurassic Park was very close to Jaws, and that's why the first Jurassic Park is so much better than the second.
But there are good movies coming out. I mean, some of them are odd and everything else. Like some things you think would be a hit, like Drag Me to Hell. You have a lot of really crappy horror movies coming out, and then this one is kind of brilliant in its own way and well done.
What are you talking about?
Drag Me to Hell, for instance, that came out a few weeks ago.
I wouldn't fucking watch that in a second. I can't watch this kind of shit.
What I'm trying to say is that is actually a well-made film. It's by a great director who knows what he's doing. It was actually almost like a Hitchcock movie at times.
I'd rather watch The Cancer Girl.
Bugsy in West Palm, you're on Fez.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, the difference between the blockbusters now, or what they say are blockbusters now, and like the original, like Jaws and stuff like that, is nowadays they're trying to make a blockbuster, whereas before they were just trying to make a good movie.
All right, let's face it. Did they try to make a blockbuster with Batman last year? They definitely did.
Yeah.
But you got to say 80% of that almost is a good movie. They didn't succeed overall, but there's more good movie in that than most of these things.
That's because the Joker was an incredible character. We didn't need, all the other shit that happened. He made that blockbuster.
So you would have had more Joker. It was up to you.
Yeah, I mean,
taking Batman out of it completely, and we just follow the Joker.
I would have had more Joker. I mean, I would have liked, but I like Nicholson's Joker
I would
too.
like to see his lair. Where does he live? What does he do?
I'm sure you'll see a spin-off one of these days of just Joker movies.
I wonder if this will, but they're showing no signs that this is what people want, right, Paulo? The big summer movie?
I'm just saying, this is a kind of an odd summer because, there's kind of, like Fast and Furious is a perfect example. You couldn't have a more disposable film, but people rushed out to see it. They just loved it because they were given exactly what they wanted. But it had no substance whatsoever. It was just giving people what they wanted. Night at the Museum, too. The exact same thing, just
So those are hits, even though they don't seem like they've even, no one ever brings up Night at the Museum 2 to you. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Like last year, let's face it, people brought up, did you see the Joker in Batman? And people would start talking, he's got to win an Oscar. They had heat. It kind of became a fun thing because people would bring it up to you at parties and stuff. But most of the time, it just doesn't happen. They set out for it to happen, but it does not.
And there was a movie at the beginning, which was a hard sell and a fairly complicated movie and it did okay, but not great, because I think it was too much for maybe it wasn't a blockbustery enough for people.
Here is Brian in PA. Brian.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to let you know that I think that there's no more intimacy with the characters now. It's all CGI. Everything was seen back in the day, and now it's all computerized, so you don't really have that in a movie.
I've heard this, though. Yesterday or the day before, James Cameron showed 24 minutes of his Avatar movie. And anyone who's seen this says it looks unlike anything they've ever seen before. It's supposed to be taking CGI and the 3D thing into the next realm. Now, for some reason, all the fucking movie studios are jumping into the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So far, I haven't ever liked it. I've never, I've went there as a lark to see 3D, but it has never enhanced a movie for me.
It doesn't usually work well either.
Yeah, I've always been disappointed just by the effect alone.
I don't know. I think that you guys are wrong. I think it's always worked as an effect that you'll go, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, you can't say that the shit doesn't look like it's jumping out of the screen. It does. What doesn't work is that it helps the film. But, Polo, from what I understand, this will change everything.
Well, yeah, Avatar, obviously Cameron hasn't done a real movie since Titanic in '96, so he's had a lot of time on his hands, and he's always wanted to be on the forefront of technology, and so I had high hopes for it myself.
And again, I never have thought that, other than the fact that you're wearing fucking 3D glasses, you can't say that the effect doesn't work. I was at the fucking Radio City Christmas fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
They did some stupid 3D thing, and you see 5,000 people jumping back. It's always worked, but it never really has worked in the way that it's moved a movie along.
It takes you out of the movie. I think it's counterproductive because you're waiting for the next 3G moment rather than settling into the story and the dialogue.
What are these extra G's? 3 G's?
3D. You're waiting for the next 3D moment rather than, thinking about the film and losing yourself in the movie and the plot.
And some people are uncomfortable with glasses. They hurt their nose. And
No, it's annoying. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's annoying to wear those fucking glasses on your head.
I would like a helmet, maybe even a surround sound.
They also
type of helmet.
Now, is this Avatar, is it an animated film or is it real people?
It's real people, but the CGI, as they say, will take it to the next level. And there's a lot of confusion because M. Night Shyamalan is also doing a movie called The Last Airbender now, but it was also Avatar. So there's actually two movies that were called Avatar.
I don't care about that. That's being stupid now.
Okay, but Avatar...
Here's Tyler in California. Tyler, you're on Fez.
Ronnie, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
With the 3D for movies like Pixar, regardless of what your feelings are, like that Monster vs. Aliens and Up in 3D, that really does make it worthwhile. But something like Watchmen in 3D, I mean, it was cool to see the fight scene in the kitchen and all that, but say what you want about the movie. Beyond that, with the live action, it doesn't seem to work. But with the animated stuff, that really does improve the movie substantially.
Yeah, these movies get now released in 3D and 2D. Regular and in 3D. Here is Avi in Jersey. Avi, you're on Fez.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Oh, good.
All right, I got an idea that makes all Dave's stupid inventions look like shit.
Okay.
We market it now. 3D glasses that you buy and you own, so you have a good pair for all these movies that are coming out instead of wearing the shitty ones that the theater has to offer.
You know what? It might work out. I mean, if there's enough of a thing where people feel like I want to wear the same glasses, it'd be like a pair of sunglasses and you're wearing them.
Could you get them in prescription?
Why not?
And they pad them in fur, put fur on the handles, and I think it would be more...
Ken in Atlanta.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, we saw, now, the movie wasn't good, Journey to the Center of the Earth in the theater in 3D. Now, the cool thing about 3D now, I think, is that you're not just waiting for the thing to jump out at you, But what the 3D did in this movie that I thought was really neat, it just showed depth when they're walking through the big caves and the caverns. You could definitely tell how big they were and how neat they were. You're not waiting for like the rocks and the explosions to make you go, whoa.
Well, see, this is where I disagreed with Dave and Fez when they said the 3D doesn't work. I think that's bullshit. But this movie is awful. It fucking was running on cable. It's terrible. You can't watch it. Jesse in Minnesota.
Yeah, see, I was wondering what you guys' opinion was on that movie Beowulf with Angelina Jolie in it and whatnot. That movie kicked ass, and it was almost reality, but it was.
I didn't see it. Did any of you guys?
No, I didn't see it.
And it was in 3D.
Yes. Yeah, it was a real movie. I mean, it was real. Everything was real, but it was kind of. I mean, it was almost. You didn't really know it was a cartoon. You had to look at it really hard. Certain scenes you could tell that it was.
Is that motion capture that they use with the Polar Express, where they get everything so they use the. It's not.
Hold on, Fezzi does a Polar Express impression.
All aboard the Polar Express.
Did I remember this one?
The faggot of the opera.
You cut that as a drop.
But
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine living a 2D life where you walked around and everything was in 2D?
All you'd have to do is lose an eye, wouldn't you?
It would be terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's not it would be a horrible way to live your life. in
Whatever.
2D. So I mean,
What are you going to do?
3D
Some
is-
people are fucking blind.
Yeah, you'd be used to it.
Jeff in Nolans.
Hey, Ron, I wanted to say, if you're in a 3D movie watching it and you have to duck and do all these motions, you're not in the movie to be part of it. What I think you're in a movie, if you had 3D, you could be in a scene to where you're watching it in the scene instead of being outside of the scene.
In
where
other words,
people
turn around and see the movie behind you.
Huh?
You want to turn around, see the movie all around you, and you're sitting in the middle of it.
That's great, but you
Surround
sight. You won't get that till you're dead.
What do you mean?
That's not true. That'll be.
Why would that be when you're dead?
That's not anything we're ever going to experience on the planet Earth. In heaven, you can maybe say, okay, show me a movie that's surrounding
Why
my body.
wouldn't that fucking work?
It's not going to happen because it's not practical. You're going to have to have like 30 projectors all around.
The helmet, the 3D surround sound helmet I'm talking about.
You already put that on. What do they call those things? Virtual reality.
Virtual reality.
Yeah.
I tried one of those on, and
you saw it in the early stages, fucko.
Would it be much different than a planetarium?
What?
You're seeing that all around you.
You're going to lay on your back and look at the fucking ceiling?
The ceiling.
That ain't a movie. That's fucking nothing. They're spinning fucking dots. Even when I was a kid, I used to yell, "This blows. This is as dumb as looking at the sky."
You have to be. You have to be tied to a movie emotionally. I felt like I was in Sling Blade when we watched
I think you were. I think you starred in it.
You are him.
Because of the emotional connection I made to those characters. It doesn't matter if it was 3D,
What's going
2D,
on with that band? Did
or
that ever
1D.
fucking take off?
His band? No.
Yeah.
Morrison is still writing.
What was his name? What was his character's name in that?
Doyle.
Fucking Doyle. And then people go to fucking see Doyle in concert.
And
they get Doyle albums.
Vic Chestnut basically playing Vic Chestnut.
My chick is like, I love Doyle, the way he sings. I'm like, tell me you're fucking kidding. It's Doyle.
That guy's great, man. He was also good in that one David Fincher movie, Panic Room.
Chad, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, Ronnie, how's it going? Sound like $1 million.
What can I do for you?
Hey, I'm blind in one eye. I've been like that pretty much.
I'll put my thumb in the other one. How's that fucking grab you, cha-cha?
The 3D movies actually stink. I can't ever get anything out of them because I'm blind in one eye.
And what's it like, though,
They don't
living
work.
with one eye?
Kurt, you're on Run Fez.
Yeah, Dave, you're not too swift there, buddy. There's a 360 screen down in Epcot Center. Seen it.
They fucking used to even have it on the Wildwood Boardwalk when you were a little kid.
I never heard of that.
You could,
thing
yeah,
like
they would
this.
act like you're in a train car and you fucking see all around you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in a fucking cable car in San Francisco. The fucking cable car let loose. So you'd have to stand up and watch the movie and people would fucking fall down. It was the fucking greatest. We used to eat acid and go in there.
And you didn't have to die and go to heaven to see it.
Well, I mean, but
wait a minute, while you're putting him down, you just called The Planetarium a fucking great movie. Here, I actually have a clip from it.
Nice big faggot of the opera hat for outerwear.
The good thing about this is you get more and more used to hearing it.
Never get used to that.
I'm getting used to it,
You
though.
ashamed of yourself?
Yeah, very much. I'm really upset with myself today.
You going to talk to your shrink about it?
Oh, yes.
Do you feel like I've done my best to protect you from it?
Not sure about that.
How about this?
The faggot of the opera.
Got a ringtone now.
Try it again.
The faggot of the opera.
Good.
Why so hateful?
What?
Why is he so hateful? Phantoms. They're people. All right, Paulo, so you're saying see Transformers and see kids with cancer.
I'm just saying, if you're going to go drink a lot of energy drinks, because it's 2.5 hours, and, smoke some weed, whatever, because it's a very
Why bring up
bizarre-
weed? It's illegal.
Okay, I won't suggest it, but I'm just saying.
Hold on, a plane has just landed in the Hudson.
Oh, shit.
They might as well open an airport there.
Oh, it's just a rerun. I don't know why CNN's running reruns. It'll scare the shit out of people. All right, Paulo.
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you at the movies.
All right, I'm looking forward to Harry Potter.
When's that?
A couple of weeks.
Oh, sorry. My phone's going off. Okay. Phone call.
Hey,
Yeah,
Paulo,
I'm
would you
sure
like-
it is.
Fez and I are throwing a party for Dave and Casey at the Borgata. Would you like to come?
You can have my invite, Polo.
You're really not going to that, Fez?
No, I'm not going to that. I'm not going to even be in the state.
What could I do to make you come home just a day earlier so you could celebrate?
Celebrate.
Maybe
good
lose your
times.
ringtone.
Well, let's face it, Fez. That is you that said it.
It's me. I admit it.
You've seen the devil, and it's you. We're going to break here. We'll be back. We got stuff to talk about, don't we, Fez?
Yes, I believe we do. Let's see. Plus, we have
I believe we do.
Plus, we have some emails to go over, among other things.
All right, we'll be back. It's the Run and